Let's pick our teams, though, then, in all seriousness, because as you say, Joe, chance to see some squad players, but also some selection dilemmas, even certainly at the back for Liverpool. I take it we're all sort of in agreement that Adrian will be between the sticks for the Reds. Doyley, do you want to throw in any random goalkeepers in that position, or are you happy with that?
Well, it's not random because Kelleher played in competition last season in a couple of games, but I think Adrian will play. Yeah.
What about the back four then, Sean? I'll let you go with the back four because it's going to be quite some sort of decision for Jurgen Klopp to make.
It is a difficult one. I mean, obviously Gomez is back now, so he's got that extra option. Came through unscathed and looked good. I think the fullbacks are easy. I'd stick with Tsimikas and Williams. But then, yeah, it is a different proposition to Lincoln, isn't it? So I think you're going to need a senior man there. Just stick with Van Dijk and Williams. I think I probably would. And then maybe look to do something like he did in terms of bringing someone else on in place of Van Dijk in the second half, maybe Gomez this time. But yeah, I think Van Dijk's just a Rolls Royce, isn't he? He can just tick through these games, and giving him a half here, I think, would be okay, especially presuming that Arsenal are going to rotate a little bit and it'll be slightly lesser opposition that it'll be up against. So yeah, I think I'd go with that.
Doyle, what do you think for the back four?
Well, the fullbacks are going to be the fullbacks, Tsimikas and Williams. And I think we had this conversation before the Lincoln game where if you're going to play such a strong team elsewhere, it seems a bit daft to undermine it by not playing a solid centre-back pairing. And I know they surprised us by playing Van Dijk against Lincoln alongside Reece Williams, but wouldn't play Van Dijk this time. I'd go with Fabinho and Gomez, to be honest. I'd play the pair of them. And then if things are going okay second half, then you can give Reece Williams or Sepp van den Berg a little bit more time. But yeah, for the fact of the matter is that after this game, as I said before, the quarterfinals, because they'd be in the quarterfinals if they win, they aren't until like December the 20th or something stupid like that. So this is like a chance just to get far in the competition and know that you've got a big game coming a long way down the line.
Is there a risk, though, playing Fabinho, that if maybe Jordan Henderson and Thiago are both still unavailable for Aston Villa, that if Fabinho were to pick up a strain or anything, Joe, that then he wouldn't be about for the Villa game?
Of course, yeah. There's a risk, but then there's a risk that Van Dijk gets injured. There's a risk that Joe Gomez, who has injury problems himself, playing 2, potentially 3 games in a week, he could get injured. So I think whichever one you go for is a risk. Personally, I'm with Doyle. I'd go for Fabinho. I'd be tempted for Gomez, but I think I'd go for Reece Williams just because I think Gomez coming back from an injury to play 3 games in a week might be just a little bit too much for him. So Fabinho and Reece Williams would be my pairing, and of course, fullbacks are the fullbacks.
Your midfield 3, Joe. Let you go with them.
James Milner will play. Curtis Jones will play. I wonder whether he'll play Minamino a touch deeper. Played very well in the last game. Those 3.
Doyle, what are you saying? Shaqiri looked quite good in the midfield against Lincoln.
He did, but we don't know whether he's injured or not because he went off, didn't he, with a tiny... I know Klopp said he made a mistake subbing him, but I was a bit surprised he wasn't on the bench last night, to be honest. I thought it was a little bit harsh if he has been left out just purely on form because he played such a good game. So if he's fit, then I'd play Milner and Jones as well, yeah, because I don't think Grujic will be added this time. But if Shaqiri's not fit, which we'll come to in a bit, if Shaqiri is fit, which we'll come to in a bit, you'll see what happens with the front 3. But if he's not fit, I'd play Minamino in a deeper role as well.
And Sean?
Yeah, it's a difficult one. I mean, I'd love to see Grujic again, but obviously if there is the potential for him to be leaving at some point very soon, if a deal does get done, perhaps it's a bit much to play him in this one. So yeah, I think I'd go with that. Shaqiri again if he's fit, just to see if that was a fluke, really, that really good performance, albeit against lower league opposition, in a deeper role. Down there again, see what happens. Jones and then probably Milner in a slightly unfamiliar deeper role, but I'm sure he can pull that off.
Doyle, you've teased us with the forward 3 then. Who are you lining up at the top end of the pitch?
Well, if Shaqiri's not fit and Minamino's in midfield, the rest of the 3 are straightforward. It's Jota on the left, Origi down the middle, and Harvey Elliott on the right. But it's if Shaqiri plays, then where do you fit them all in? And if you go by position, you'd have to put Minamino down the middle, Jota on the left, and Elliott down the right. But there's absolutely no way Origi's not going to be starting. So How does he fit in? And then you're looking, well, can Origi go down the right, or can Minamino go down the right? It's a tough ask, but I'm just assuming Shaqiri's not playing, so that makes it easier for me.
Joe, what selection dilemmas have you got at the top end of the pitch?
Yeah, I like Minamino in central areas, and I wouldn't want to push him wide. So yeah, I like Doyley. I'm going to assume that Shaqiri is injured and have Minamino in midfield. And yeah, Origi through the middle, Jota first full start on the left, and Harvey Elliott on the right. But it'd be interesting to see whether he does pick someone like Grujic, because if he does, then perhaps that might hint to you that there isn't too much interest in him before the deadline, and whether Shaqiri's fit or it's going to be an interesting lineup. That's why the League Cup's so much fun. It's hard to even pick a team.
And Sean, finally, you on the front three?
Yeah, so I've put Shaqiri in midfield, haven't I? So he's not an option. Minamino, where to put Minamino? I'm going to say Origi down the middle, Minamino on the right, and Jota on the left, which feels a bit harsh on Harvey Elliott. But I guess if Shaqiri isn't available, you rejig it, you put Elliott on the right, and it resolves that way. But yeah, I think Origi, he had a couple of runs, didn't he, down the middle in this competition and others last season. So try him there again, see what happens.
And finally, quick prediction then. Sean, go round from you, Sean, Joe and Doyley, if you want to kick us off, Sean.
Well, I'm going to say 6-3, and I'll explain this. Because we talked in Friday's pod about 2007 when there was those two crazy games in succession. My hope was that the results would flip. Well, the first one has, because I think Liverpool lost 3-1 in the FA Cup to Arsenal back then. Now they've won 3-1. So, yeah, it follows that it must be 6-3 on Thursday.
Joe?
No, I'm not silly. 5-5 Liverpool on pens. It happened last season.
Well, to ruin my joke, I was going to say 7-7, but I'll be the sensible one for once. 3-2 to Liverpool. I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It could be anything. It could literally be any scoreline, because we don't even know. I mean, okay, a bit of Arsenal insight. Is Martinelli fit?
No,
he's not. Okay, right, Liverpool.
No, Jimmy. He had a big knee injury during Project Restart. So no, he's out for quite a while. But anyway, they just bought some Icelandic goalkeeper. I think he is Runarsson, who's coming from Nice. So yeah, it'll be a debut for him between the sticks. So we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. But
I picked the Arsenal team. We may as well.
Pick the Arsenal team.
No, so we know what to expect.
I've genuinely no idea where he goes with that. But anyway, that's it from us here for this edition of the Blood Red podcast. Of course, keep across the Liverpool Echo, certainly for the game on Thursday night. There's also the link to our twice daily newsletter in the description of this podcast. If you give us your email address, we can send you our top Liverpool stories directly to your inbox. But from myself, Guy Clark, Ian Doyle, Joe Rimmer and Sean Bradbury, thanks for joining us for this edition of Blood Red. It's bye for now.